breaking right now. This is historic. U.S. forces just pulled off a military operation that nobody saw coming. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro captured in his own capital.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
Like nothing since World War II. That's not spin. That's what just happened. And the president? He watched the whole thing unfold in real time. Listen to him describe what he saw.
I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect of it, and I listened to the communication between, where we were in Florida and out in the field in Venezuela. And it was amazing to see the professionalism, the quality of leadership, the professionalism. General Raisin Kane is fantastic. Don't forget, we did another one not so long ago. It was called the knocking out of the Iranian nuclear threat, the nuclear power. And that was unbelievable what they did there. And this is something that, I don't know, it's amazing. And to have a few injuries, but no death on our side is really amazing.
Real time. Every aspect. The professionalism Trump's describing here isn't hyperbole. No nation on earth could have done this. American forces turned out the lights in Caracas and moved like ghosts. Here's what went down.
No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have. It was dark and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens.
Dark, deadly, and absolutely flawless. So where's Maduro right now? On a Navy ship, heading to New York to face justice. The president had some thoughts on the helicopter ride.
Can you tell us where Maduro and his wife are right this second?
Well, they'll be heading to New York. They were indicted in New York, and also...
So were they taken to a ship first, and then...
Yes, to Iwo Jima. They're on a ship,
okay.
But they'll be heading into New York. The helicopters took them out, and they went by helicopter in a nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. But they've killed a lot of people. Remember that. They killed a lot of people. And
a lot of Americans.
Even people in their own country. They killed a lot of people to maintain power. He's a very vicious person.
Nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. Classic. Now here's something the critics don't want you to know. 0 aircraft lost. 0. This was a masterclass in military.
About a week ago, and after reaching no conclusion, there were plans underway about 4 days ago for this operation to get underway, but it was delayed for better weather. And the president said that aside from some injuries to U.S. forces, which we are still awaiting details on what that looks like and who exactly was injured, this was considered a huge success. There were no aircraft that were lost, and congressional leaders have been giving statements of support. They did indicate that they didn't get a heads up on this, but the statements that we've seen come in from Republicans have framed it more as an extradition that was justified than a military operation that was aimed at effectuating regime change.
A huge success. Congressional leaders backing it. But here's what really matters. What are our adversaries thinking right now? China, Russia, Iran. A CNN military analyst just laid it out. And it's
Tell me how this news is being received in Iran. How's it being received in Russia? How's it being received in China?
All three, predictably, will deplore this kind of activity publicly. Privately, they will be impressed with the military capability here. I would argue none of those three militaries could have executed an operation like this. And again, we tend to just breeze by this. But the idea of finding, fixing, kidnapping, taking him out alive with his wife, no casualties on the side of the U.S., that's an extraordinary military operation. So I think while there will be a lot of public condemnation of the United States, predictably from those three nations, privately they'll be saying to themselves, that's a very capable military. That's not a bad thought to pop up in Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran these days.
Beijing, Moscow, Tehran, all watching, all impressed, whether they admit it or not. And you know, the Democrats are already losing their minds. Trump had something to say about that, too.
Tremendous numbers of people were being killed through drugs. And what they did to our country in sending prisoners and people from mental institutions and drug lords and everything. They sent them by the hundreds of thousands of people into our country. And that is just unforgivable. That's why, he wanted to negotiate at the end, and I didn't want to negotiate. I said, nope, we got to do it. He was trying to negotiate at the end. You probably saw that. And trying hard to make a deal. And I said, this could have been a very foolish thing if it didn't work out. But I said, nope, we can't do it. What he did with drugs was bad. What he did with a lot of other things is bad. But what he did was sending hundreds of thousands of Tren de Aragua and drug dealers. And they emptied out their jails into our country. They emptied out, if you think about it, they emptied out all of their mental institutions into our country. What he did there, and every other thing, is unforgivable.
Same old stuff. They've got nothing. Meanwhile, the president's already looking ahead. Venezuela's oil industry has been a disaster for years. That's about to change.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Billions in investment. American companies rebuilding what the communists destroyed. But forget the economics for a second. Look at what's happening on the ground in Venezuela right now. This is incredible.
Sí. fireworks, dancing in the streets, decades of tyranny over. Just like that. One night, one operation, one dictator in handcuffs on a Navy ship heading to face American justice. This is what peace through strength looks like.
This report was generated using artificial intelligence. Every fact was verified before it reached you. Clear information, straight delivery.
This is Next News AI.
Next News AI. The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.